You know it'd be even better?
What?
If this was a Type 1.
That'd be too easy. Oh, that's convenient. A little hole inside?
Yeah, got a hole in it. These are the fresh air holes. You have a pollution control that recycles the hot air gases into the intake system.
Yeah.
Or into the exhaust, I guess.
So it's like an emissions control?
So it's like an emissions deal, which we don't have.
So these are new heads. We got these from A&A.
AMC castings.
AMC?
Yeah.
For the 1.7.
They're pretty nice.
Yeah, the original heads were just worn out.
Bad guides.
And they were known for that, right? They were known for the guides.
Apparently the seats were issues too. So I mean, if we fixed the guides,
yeah,
and we have a seat fall out, it would have been bad. So this is a much better starting brand new. We got a new alloy, supposed to run cooler. All right, we're gonna lap these valves in. I've already done this cylinder head. So what we're doing is, you know, they say they have a valve job on them from the factory.
Yeah.
We're establishing a seat. You can see a little mark on the valve here where we've lapped in and established a seat between the valve and the seat of the head.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing. Here's a valve that doesn't have the seat on it. And here's one that's been lapped in. You see the gray area?
Yep.
There's a circle all around the valve.
Yep.
That lets us know that we have a good seat and everything's sealed up. So this is just a precaution I do. Even on a brand new head, I'll take it apart and I'll clean everything, lap the valves in, put a little oil on the stem, and then reassemble everything. We had to do some machine work on these heads. We'll get into in a little bit here. We had to cut the valve bosses down because we put a high lift cam in it, give us retainer clearance, and then we went with a better valve spring. So we're upgrading these a little bit from the factory. If you bought these cylinder heads from A&A, you could probably bolt them right on out of the box and not have a problem with them. But we're doing a little bit of custom work on this, and we changed some stuff around, so this is where we're at. So the concept here is getting this to stick to the valve. It's the hardest part, really. And once you do that, you just put a little valve locking compound. Not a lot, because if you get this in the valve guides, it'll just wear them out.
Okay.
So you're just gonna put a little of this on there, just mat it around. You don't need a lot of this. It's very coarse, feel it with your finger.
Oh yeah, sandy.
Sandy. And we're gonna be careful not to get any on the stem. And we're gonna place it back in here. Now we're gonna take our plunger, and then this is how we lap them in. Back and forth in the hand. You can almost hear the sound change when it gets a seat.
Yeah, I heard that.
Smooths out. Now if you hold that valve up to the camera, you'll be able to see where the seat's at. See the gray area now on the valve? All the way around?
Yep. So that's
our
the seat.
That means we're sealed to the seat in the head.
That's
And
awesome.
And if you look at the seat in the head here, you'll see where it's gray also now. So, you see right here, this area?
Yep.
Mating those two surfaces together to get a good seal.
Gotcha. And it's just as simple as that. You just put a little bit of that.
And that little bit right there will definitely make the motor run better.
And that'll last for, that just lasts for a long time? Or?
Yeah, it'll last forever. Basically, they cut these and they assemble the heads. They don't lap them in or anything, and you're depending on the machine work of two surfaces to mate together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you won't get a good lap and you'll be able to see it instead of putting the head on and finding out that, you know, it's not sealed up. A lot of guys will pour a little liquid in the cylinder head to make sure it's not leaking into the intake port or the exhaust port.
Yep.
This just establishes the seat between the valve and the seat.
Cool.
This is standard when you used to do valve jobs back in the day, but as more companies started selling new heads, you know, they don't have the manual labor to do this part. They do the valve job, throw it in, and you know, once you start the motor up and the valve slaps the seat, it'll eventually make.
Oh, gotcha.
But
so this is just a
this is just, you're guaranteeing that you got a good seating surface between the valve and the seat, and your valve job is good. Go ahead and
just like this.
Yep. Just like that.
it?
Yep. That's it. Just a little downward pressure. Bang, there you go. Try to center it in the center of the valve. I told you that's the hardest part.
Just getting it to stick, right?
So just put it on and push it all the way down. See it change?
Yeah.
Pitch?
It's almost like it went
Very
higher.
quiet.
Yeah. It's like
That's when it makes the seat.
that's cool.
A nice wide seat all the way around. You know, this is a performance job. We moved that up a little bit, but this is good for the street. You see you got a seat from here to here, about 60 thousandths, maybe a little bit bigger. So you got a good ceiling surface. On performance, we try to get it all the way up here at the top.
Oh wow.
You know, but for this, excellent.
Cool.
I'll go ahead and lap these in because we only have 30 minutes on this video.
Let the pros, the professionals, do the work. We got a little rainstorm here, so if you guys hear something, popcorn in the background.
Little rain. No harm.
It was storming bad earlier.
Yeah, we've got a good rainstorm today. Replenish that drinking water.
Lapping the valves.
Lapping the valves, and I know what lapping the valves means.
What kind of lap compound are you using?
I am using valve lapping compound.
What brand is it?
Permatex, of course.
Rebuilder's Aid. Valve grinding compound.
So this is that's for lapping valves, not doing a valve job like some people use it for.
Yeah, those are two different things, right?
Here, get quiet. I guess in a pinch, you know, I guess that would work if you had to establish a seat, you know, if you had a burnt valve, but
Yeah,
you know,
just a quick fix.
it's not made for that. It's made for this. There you go. You can see you got a good seat established.
Yeah, man. It looks good. You got some
Schmegmite.
compound on there. What's between the engine and the motor?
One's electric, one's combustion. The motor would be electric, I guess. Or is it? I don't know. There's a debate. I get scolded for it all the time, you know.
'Cause you
call
got
it motor and engine.
Motorhead. Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
I don't think some of you guys have figured it out. All it has to be is greasy, and I'll put it together. All right, let's assemble some cylinder heads. So I got these marked. Marked them. But I knew, you know, it'd be a while till he came back. Let me get
It's been a while.
let me get a rag. Or two?
It's been about a year or so since we tore the engine apart.
It hasn't been that long since we got the heads.
The heads we got about, I don't know, a couple months ago. They were on back order forever.
Waiting on parts. We had a valve spring issue.
Yeah, we had some issues we had to overcome.
CT learned about valve springs.
Yep. Yeah, the valve springs that came with it weren't strong enough, right?
Yeah, we had to go with, we went with Webb. We went with their camshaft. 86B, I think.
Yeah.
86B.
Let me see.
We went with their valve springs.
It's on here, I think. Yeah. 86.
86.
Number 86.
86. And
then we went with these.
sweet spring, man.
Yeah. So I actually called them and talked to them on the phone, and they knew, you know,
They hooked us right up.
sent what we needed, so we're good.
Yep. So I've already checked our installed height, our spring pressure, everything's good. I've got it all set up to their likings. Here's the information that you get when you buy. Hang on, it's a little strong. Get your finger in there.
Yeah, that's a strong magnet.
So a lot of times you get just basic cam information, and with Webb, I love Webb because they go all out. You get all your installed height, all your heights, your pressures. Get a good pamphlet with the camshaft, the opening, the closings, the lobe center. They have set up what they want for coil bind on the spring. So they go into pretty good detail and pretty much leave nothing unturned when it comes to giving you information that you're going to need to set your cam up.
Cool.
A little more money, but you get a lot for that little more money.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I had to buy this today.
I've never seen anything like that.
It happened, man. I was cruising through the aisles waiting for CT. You know, he was taking forever.
A regular can's like this size.
Yeah, I had a regular can out here somewhere, I thought, but it's just,
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I'm sure it's gonna run out of air before all the paint comes out of the can. But
It's 4 times faster.
oh, is it high pressure?
It's for large. Yeah, it's turbo spray system
Well, let's check it out.
for large projects.
Whoa!
Oh my God. We'll have to try it on. Don't spray it in here.
Okay.
We'll spray it outside later.
Oh, 10 inches wide, the fan.
Good Lord. That's big.
I might have to change that nozzle out.
You paint a car with that thing.
Hey, that's what I got it to paint your Porsche with. All right, let's do these cylinder heads, then we can build the motor.
You got a
We're gonna do
Porsche?
the piston cylinders next. Let me get some oil.
What's that?
This is what it came out of the can.
I don't know. It feels heavy. It feels condensed or something.
Get all this off.
What is that?
Nothing.
That's your secret sauce.
That's just the. I might need to grind these roll. Actually,
They're not supposed to touch?
no. You can buy these already done. Gene Berg sells them. Or you can do it yourself. See, when you grind them, it lets the grooves get full engagement. When they touch each other, it beats the grooves out in the valves. They get real sharp because it's not, the grooves aren't engaged all the way. So these are from the factory, not ground. And when they go on here, they lock in these little grooves. See,
Yep.
these little grooves in here, lock in these little grooves here.
Valve keepers.
These are male, the valve's a female. When you put the groove, when you put these on, see how they touch? See how the keepers are touching each other?
Yep.
You want to have space in between there so you got full engagement in those grooves. When they're like this, they're not completely locked in.
Okay, gotcha.
So when
it's
you
almost,
grind it,
it's like you're seating them.
yeah, you're preventing these from touching each other, getting full engagement. So now, when our keepers are in here, so we got a little space, and now they're fully locked.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So when they're touching together, the valve's usually loose in there. And when you do this, it's a tight grab, and these aren't touching they don't touch together, and it allows these grooves to lock into these grooves all the way. You get more of a positive. If you don't do it, these get real sharp because this moves in the keeper. Keepers are the locks.
Yeah.
It moves and works this, and if you take enough heads apart, you'll pull the head apart, and this will be really sharp when you get the retainer off and the valve won't come through the guide.
Yep.
Then you gotta take a valve and file this down to pull it through the guide so you don't wipe the guide out. That means the keepers weren't ground.
Gotcha.
They were loose on there. So that's why we grind the keepers.
Is that something that's been around for a while, or?
Well, I was taught to do it, 30 years ago.
Okay. So it's a
And
thing.
like I say, Gene Berg sells hardened ground. They make these hardened and ground.
Oh, wow.
So they come done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
I thought I'd already done this, but I forgot I built that motor. I did that motor.
Oh yeah, this one?
Yeah.
What size is this? Is this 1600?
Yeah, 1600 with a 135 cam. Or a C35 cam. Got ported heads. Good valve job. New A&A cylinders. Turn flywheel. It's a nice little motor.
I need an engine for the Gia.
Yep.
Will that one work?
It'll work. I would probably build you a little nicer motor.
Yeah.
That's an entry level right there with a cam.
Yeah.
Probably be great for you.
It'd be fine for me. I don't need a lot of. I'm like grandpa.
They're so soft. Here, man, hold these keepers.
Are they hot?
Are they?
No.
Yes, they are.
They're warm.
We're gonna assemble your cylinder heads. All right, we're gonna put these together now. We got our keepers ground. We got our valves lapped in. We got our spring height all set up. So let's do it.
Cool.
Little Earl on the stem. Very sharp. Sharp cylinder heads.
Yeah, they got a lot of casting edges.
Yes, they do. So don't lick them. It's happy in there. There's a workbench back and forth. So you want to get a feel on it, so you should feel what they should feel like. Just grab it up there and move it back and forth. Nice and smooth, It's not going to operate there. There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Very
All right.
nice.
Let's go ahead and put our springs on it, shall we? Where's my compressor?
Right here, or it was right here.
Spring compressor. Okay, here's our valve springs. Our webcam valve springs here. Nice springs, man. Tempted to use some of those on a Type 1.
They make the good stuff.
That's definitely packaged nice. Very nice. Very nice. Put this up to your head here. So it's a little bigger than a Type 1. Woo! Take a little assembly lube and put it in these keeper grooves, and it'll help your keepers stay in place when you're assembling your head.
Need all the details.
That stuff's been around as long as motors or engines, whichever you prefer to call them. So that's how they go in there. Fat side to the top, skinny side to the bottom. Side by side action. It's amazing that that's what holds everything together, huh?
It is pretty wild. I guess it works.
It's the wedge theory for sure. So that grease holds the keeper.
Mm-hmm.
So you hand me a rubber hammer out of that hammer drawer over there?
Yep. This one?
One head.
Cool. You make it look easy.
It is easy.
Well, you've done it 1,000 times.
1001.
What do you think about that that beast? The beast.
The beast.
The 413. You ever mess with one of those?
440, 383. Never 14. I had a Challenger when I was a kid. 383 RT with a slapstick.
Nice.
4 speed. Yeah, my dad gave it away on me.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah. They were moving, and he's like, "Oh, I got a friend that's gonna sell it for you." Yeah, he took it and stole my car.
What year was it?
70 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, pistol grip, 4-speed.
Wow.
TA.
What year was
It was a RT, huh?
It was a 70 and a half?
Yeah, split bumper, real rare.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to call my stepfather every time I go across Barrett Jackson. He'd be like, "Hey!" Mopar, never be able to afford one of those. But when we were kids, you could buy one, you know. My stepbrother traded a 4-door 70 Impala and a 357 nickel-plated Magnum for it.
Wow. Yeah, my brother had a couple back in the day.
And he got into buying old cop cars. You know, he had a bunch of Polarises with the 440s in them and stuff.
Like the Interceptors, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a sheriff down in Miami. When he moved up to Orlando and retired, he was buying old police cars. We were hot rodding them. In the motorhome. I told you about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that Edelbrock carb seemed to work pretty good on there.
Yeah, that's what those carburetors were born on Mopar's AFBs.
Yeah, it's almost identical design. Did they buy Carter or something?
They bought, yeah. I think I want to say that Weber had bought Carter. I want to say Edelbrock bought Weber. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure on what the deal was, but the patent ran out, which could have been. That's what happened with Holley when everybody started producing, Holley style carburetors.
Yeah.
Usually it's a patent that runs out or something, and other manufacturers come in and start. But that design was pretty common on Mopars back in the 70s and 60s.
It's like a magnifying glass.
Alrighty.
How's it look?
Good.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Piston cylinders up there next, I guess. Alrighty. Woo! Always warm over here.
You want the fan on?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
So we got new pistons and jugs.
Yep, new pistons, new cylinders. Went back to the standard 1.7 cylinder instead of the big bore, super thin, high compression deal. Trying to make this where you can drive it.
So it's going to be stock, but it's going to have a better cam and
It's got a camshaft, you got upgraded carburetors. Eventually you'll put a header on it. You got stock exhaust for now, but
yeah,
it should run better. I mean,
yeah, I want to get definitely want to get a better exhaust.
I think it'll run really good. Heavy duty wrist pins. Overkill.
Yep.
Give you an idea of how robust the Type 4 is compared to a Type 1.
Oh yeah. Type 4.
Little girth, huh?
A little bit bigger. A little taller, a little wider, thicker.
Bigger pen.
Yeah, so they really tried to beef that Type 4 engine up.
Tried to beef it up.
And they were putting it in the buses and 914s.
So it's got a lot of girth to it. This is the kind of stuff here that you would lighten up if you were making a performance motor. Because this is reciprocating weight. These are quite heavy. It's almost like a blower pen, with the amount of metal. Compared to what's in the Type 1. What's all this stuff go to? Do you even know? Yes.
It's all in your mind. Darren's got a photographic memory.
Yep. Those are your piston clips. Bigger. Badder.
So the Type 4 engine, Volkswagen designed Type 4 engine, what, 1970? 72?
72, I think, was first year. I don't know when, I don't know if Volkswagen was the first one to use it or if they used it in the 914 first. You know, I'm not really a expert on that kind of stuff. So a lot of people put these together right out of the box. They'll just push the piston out, push the pin through, and install it on the motor. And I want you to feel why that's a really bad idea. Grab the rings and try to move them. Feel how draggy it is.
Yeah.
It's like cosmoline. It's not oil.
Yeah, it feels almost like sand.
Right, because they're dirty. So you really need to pop these piston cylinders apart when you buy them and clean them. Put fresh oil in the ring pack and then reinstall them into the barrels. And if you don't, you're going to have issues. It will run. It will fire right up. But it is not going to be the best situation for the motor.
Okay.
Definitely want to clean this, re-oil it with some proper oil. Okay. This is, you can see the oil almost evaporating to the air. You know, there's no kind of lubrication quality to this. And
that's just so it doesn't...
it's so it doesn't rust in the cylinder. And you can feel the grit. I can feel it on my hands.
Yeah, it's gritty.
I don't know what it is, but it's gritty. So I always clean these.
Okay.
And A&A always has this little thing they put on their piston cylinders. I don't know if they do this, and if you washed them, cleaned them, or installed them properly. But you'll see this little dot on the bottom of the piston. It's red on a Type 4 and it's blue on a Type 1. And I've seen some people assembling motors, you know, big companies on YouTube that still have the dot. And
that means they didn't clean it.
Where's the brake clean at? And hand me that brake clean there. I'll show you something here. What happens to this dot when you just put a little bit of brake clean on it. Well, it didn't go away on this one, but the blue dot, you can see it wipes right off.
Yeah, it'll start going away.
Yeah, so if you see that dot on there, chances are whoever built your motor didn't take it apart, position the rings, lube the cylinders, and all that good stuff.
So clean it all.
So we're going to do that now. We're going to clean this up. Okay. We might have to turn the camera off, but we're going to turn the fan on. But basically, some brake clean. Just clean your ring landings. Spray the back of the piston. And then dry it off with some air, and then reassemble.
Okay.
And then when I space the rings out, I like to take the rings. A piston is cam shaped. It looks like a circle, but it's actually larger here and here than it is here and here.
Oh, wow.
So at the wrist pin areas, the piston is actually smaller than it is here.
Okay.
So you want to try to position your rings to the top, away from the wrist pin. I take this other one and position it over there. And I always try to put my gaps up at the top, because when these sit and they shut off, if you got the ring gap set at the bottom, the oil will pass here and get in the combustion chamber, and it'll smoke when you fire the motor up.
Okay.
A lot of times people will tell me, hey, these rings move around constantly. And they might move around, but they move around together. So I try to space them where I want them.
Okay.
And if they move together. And you never want to put your grooves, ring grooves. You see where the ring's not one piece, it's always got this opening.
Yep.
Don't ever put your two rings like that.
Okay.
Because then you got a leak.
So you do like 180?
You want to stagger them.
Oh.
I try to do them at the top, so it's not 180. It's probably 45, 45.
Okay.
One here, one here.
Yep.
And then I'll take the oil ring and just find where it's split and put it up at the top. You feel right there with your finger?
Yep, I see it right there.
So I'll just take that and move it over to the side and then put these right here and right here.
Cool.
All right. All right, turn that fan on so we can use this stuff. Look at that chunk.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
we got to pin fit the piston, so I got my unit bit out.
Just kidding. Let me use this little baby. I'll give it back to you. I don't want it. Alright, so the pins, so from the factory, it's tight. You can't get them in there.
Yeah,
So you gotta.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
I pin fit all my pins.
People force them in there.
You can hit them in with a hammer if you want. Or you can hone them out a little bit.
Cool.
I prefer to hone them out a little bit. Wheel cylinder hone. They're quite tight from the factory. So I'm sure they loosen up after, you know, a couple thousand miles. I don't know what kind of tool CT bought here, but you leave him alone, send him to the parts store.
The wrong one?
No, just very delicate. Very difficult to collapse.
We got those all cleaned up. They're floating in there now.
We're going to check our ring gap. Do they feel better now?
Oh yeah, real smooth. Real smooth.
Pin fitting. Now you know what that is. So I like to do this. I'll take the ring and I slip it in, and I pull it back up to the top, and then I'll take the piston and I'll square the bore with the piston. Use the second ring as a stop. Pull this out, and now we can measure our ring end gap.
Oh, cool. It's sitting in there like it would be.
Right, it's perfectly square. We're looking for at least 19, somewhere around 20. If we were going to turbocharge it, we'd open that up to 30. If you don't open that up and you turbocharge it or do a performance motor, when the ring gets hot, the ring swells up, the two pieces butt together, and it breaks the piston land. So ring gap's very important, especially on these pistons here, because this isn't a forged piston, it's a hyper-eutectic piston. So you want to make sure that you have proper ring gap.
Gotcha.
These are a little on the nasty side. I got a clean set somewhere.
A little rusty.
Rusty.
This looks like my brother's gauges.
Yeah, I got better ones.
You got 10 of everything.
Well, I got, you know, for different things.
What are you looking for?
Should be at least 19 now.
It looks pretty tight.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to adjust it. Let me get my
So the ring gap.
Yeah. So we're gonna do this. Measure this cylinder. Oh, look at that. That's nice right out of the box.
Oh, what happened? Oh, jeez. That'll be alright?
Yeah. Just push down a little bit.
I'm not sending them back. I'll never get any other more.
I ain't heard nothing. This is the surface you're worried about.
Gotcha.
Alright. I like to grind these the way they go on the piston, so they're marked top.
Yeah.
To the top. And if you don't have that mark, this bevel always goes up. You see the bevel? You see this little chamfer there? See how it's flat on this side?
Yeah.
Beveled in here on this side?
Yeah.
That always goes up.
Okay.
Towards the top of the piston. So this little ring filer here, it's got these little poles that the ring parks against, and you want to try to get this, you want to hold these as flat as you possibly can. You don't want to have this gap uneven in here when you grind it. So this is like a real slow process. They make an electric one, but you don't really need that. And there we go. So you can see it's nice and flat. That's what you want. You don't want to have these beveled. You want these surfaces to be flat. You don't want them, beveled in, beveled out. You want nice flat surfaces.
Okay. And you want a certain depth.
Well, we want 20 thousandths on our top ring gap. So we didn't even have 17.
Oh wow.
So it's way too tight. Want to make sure there's no burrs just on the flat surfaces,
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that's good, because this is the part that's going to go in the groove of the piston, so if there's a burr here it can damage the landing. Our gauge. What'd you do with that? Can't see with these glasses on.
Yeah, it's only good for like right in front of me. That's why I'm always going like this, bending down.
Yeah. So there we go. We got 20 now. Okay.
Nice. Cool. So it didn't take much.
No, it doesn't take a lot. You want to be very. The rings are a real soft material. And you're going to want to check each jug. We just checked that one. This piston goes to that hole. Everything stays together at this point.
Yep.
So we're going to put these in. You always want to install it in the cylinder the way the ring's oriented on the piston. So we're looking for the top or the bevel again.
Okay.
Slide that in, and then I use the piston to square the ring in the cylinder.
Yep.
Gently push down till it lands on the second ring. $20 is what we want. We have no 20. Won't go in. We're going to open that up a little bit.
How do you know what gap you're looking for? Is it based on the size of the...
20 is the minimum, I think, on an air-cooled motor on the top ring. If you're going to run nitrous or a performance application, you probably want that to be closer to 30.
Okay.
Anywhere from 26 to 30.
Yep.
Too little ring gap will bite you in the butt every time. Too big a ring gap, you really aren't going to notice. It's when this ring swells up and touches together and breaks the ring, the piston.
Yeah.
Because when this touches together, it just breaks this off. This Type 4 has a lot of deck surface on the piston, so it's much more robust. But on a Type 1, they don't have as much area between here and the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a good practice. I always try to file the rings, It's one of those things that make the motor run a little sweeter. I want to make sure these are pushed up again on these lugs. And then try to squeeze them together equally. You don't have to get carried away with this. The ring's fairly soft, as you saw.
Yeah. Yeah, they're real soft.
You see the material?
Yep.
So it's better to take a little off, check it, always take more like I said, you're not going to take too much of this off. Too little is going to hurt you way more than too much. And I would say they're probably around 16, which is really tight. It's too tight for me. Bevel up. Bevel up.
Good?
Yeah. This is going to be number 2. Get all our arrows orientated and our cylinders in the correct locations. Let's make this one 3.
Good idea. Looks like a question mark.
As long as you can read 4, 1, and 2, we know that's 3. That one's going to go like that, and our arrow is going to point towards the flywheel. Arrow always points towards the flywheel on the Volkswagen.
Okay. So all the arrows are going that way.
All going towards that big flywheel back there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have my t-shirt idea that you've never made. 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yep.
So this is for the directions of the rods, so you get your bumps in the right spot. All right. So we got them. I need a clean rag. Wipe the cylinders out one more time. Still like new. I didn't use it or anything, man.
It's beautiful.
I was gonna put it in a motor and use it while you were gone.
Yeah, break it in a little bit.
So I like to wipe those out. They should be clean
Yeah.
when you assemble it. We're gonna, we know it's going like that. Arrow goes towards the flat side of the cylinder. We're gonna position our rings. We know this is the top. Okay, got my rings orientated, compression, oil wiper, oil control ring. I'm going to put a little oil on the ring grooves. And then I like to take them and make sure that the rings have oil on both sides, top and bottom, in the landing. You'll feel the rings slow down when they get oil on them. Also put a drop here and a drop here. Don't get carried away. Arrow, flywheel. Make sure all our rings are compressed. You're using this type of ring compressor, I like to tap the ring compressor down on the cylinder so it's nice and flat. And drive her home. It's sort of like getting a shot, you know, you just want to.
Quick and easy?
Yeah, no sense for the 1, 2.
Huh?
Nope, 1, 2, 3, 4, just go on 1. The number 2. One. Top flywheel. This is how this goes in the motor. Flat side to flat side, arrow towards the flywheel.
In the hole.
In the hole. Number 4.
It's raining or the fan's on or something. But
Yeah.
it's all good.
It's, you know, you're the production guy. You should say, hey man, can we turn that fan on? Check, check, check. Mic check.
That'll work.
Do a dub over. And here's where I wasted my time all day at VW Downs. Could have just put this together myself a month ago. Out at the farm.
I don't think so. I could put it together, but it wouldn't work probably.
It would work fine.
Cool. Looking good.
Number 3. Arrow towards the flywheel. Sweet. You know it'd be even better?
What?
If this is a Type 1.
That'd be too easy.
You're talking about it'd be about the same. It's all the same. Just more expensive for the Type 4. Harder to get the parts.
Yeah.
You know that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can buy an engine kit for a Type 1 pretty easy. You don't see too many Type 4 engine kits available. I feel like my finger's stuck in it. There we go.
So most of the buses that have a Type 4, people end up putting a Type 1 in.
No, I guess that's popular. We were talking to Mike F, and he was telling you that you could buy some sheet metal.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, it's just it's a cost thing.
Yeah.
Would be the only I mean, unless you're going to build a performance motor, I wouldn't think a Type 1 would be any better than a Type 4. It's a pretty robust piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the pieces are good. You know, hopefully our re-engineered heads and improved valve train will give us some good luck. That's the weak part of these motors, you know, is the valve train and the top of the motor. You can't control a valve guide falling out or a seat failing if you have, you know, poor construction or alloy of the aluminum. So hopefully they addressed that when they made the new castings. But there we go. We're ready to assemble those now. Ready.
Cool. Looking good. So we're putting the rod bearings on.
Yeah.
And these are
Coming sweet. These are aluminum back now. New ones.
Are they really?
Yeah, these are old stock. This is sweet. I'd love to find some Coleman Schmidt steel back bearings.
That's what these are?
Yeah, these are real desirable.
Yeah, these came from, I ordered these from Auto Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't like the aluminum bearings. You know, there's people that say that they're fine, but they're not fine. They don't hold up. These are much nicer. Much nicer bearing. Somebody rebuilt this motor before. These rods were definitely resized. There's a lot of material cut off there. Alrighty. We had oil behind you there. I polished the crank a little bit this time.
Cool.
Cleaned her up really good. So we're gonna go with number 2 here. Tangs down. Tangs at a tang. Where's me nuts?
So what are we doing here?
We're installing our rods.
New bearings, nice ones.
Nice Coleman Schmidt bearings. I had the wrong bearings in this, and noticed there was 2 different part numbers. So I asked you to get the correct ones, and it was a good decision because
you can already tell.
they fit nicer, and I had some trash in here. I didn't get this clean enough, and it damaged 2 of the bearings. So I'm glad we found it. You know what I mean? Jelly bean.
Well, I had vapor blasted these, so
Yeah, I washed them a couple times, so you know,
that sand gets everywhere.
I wouldn't recommend vapor blasting internal engine parts. I'm sure some people are good at it and they can get it clean, but
Yeah.
that sand's hard to get out. You know, it gets down in these little. I don't know where it was at, dude. You know, I felt like we had it pretty clean, or we wouldn't put it together. You know.
I wonder if it's just because it was the wrong bearings.
No, that was definitely. They were the wrong bearings, yes, but the dirt was. That's assembly error. You know, we just didn't get it clean enough. So, just glad we caught it.
Yeah.
These are better bearings than what came out of there for sure.
So you're going to 27 foot-pounds?
I'm going to 27. Factory is 24.
A little bit tighter.
27 is what I torqued the Type 1s to. It's pretty standard for that size. You know, 3/8 bolt. It's not 3/8. It's metric, of course. got the Type 4 laid out. You guys have been asking for it. You're gonna get it.
It's been a while. The heads were on back order. Some of the parts were on back order, but
So we got the cylinder heads over there. We went with the camshaft in this, so we had to order some valve springs and do some work on those. Cut the valve guide bosses down. We got the correct rod bearings for our crankshaft. We got that all assembled. We took our piston cylinders all apart, cleaned them, put our top ring in, adjusted our ring gap, got those all reassembled, got the case all cleaned up, got our bearings all fitted, and I think we're going to put this together in a day or two.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. The heads are new. The pistons and jugs are new. Bearings,
Cam, lifters,
cam lifters, the original case.
it's all web valve train now.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to hear it running.
Should run good.
Very cool. All right, I don't know if this is gonna be one video or two, but this is part one. We'll see you on the next one. Go check out VW Darren's channel. I'll leave a link below.
There's nothing there to check out.
He's got tons of videos that he's put out over the years. So
10 years.
lots of good content, engine building content, and good stuff. So go check it out. I can't wait to see this thing going, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Vroom, vroom. I'm going to start it up on the floor, of course.
We'll start up with no exhaust first.
No, it's not exhaust.
It'll sound like a V8.
I think we got a new muffler for it. We wanted to get a header, but everything's on back order right now, so we're trying to get it together as best that we can.
Yep. Yeah, none of the performance exhausts are available that I can find.
No, I mean everything's, you can't get anything right now. I don't know what you got for it, but it should run good. We got dual carbs for it. You know, we did make the motor a little smaller than it was, but it had big cylinders on it. They were super paper thin.
Yeah, they weren't original.
Super high compression, and we tried to make it more where it's going to drive and be dependable. You know, we upgraded the cylinder heads.
Yep.
Rather than put valve guides and stuff in the old ones, we went with some new ones.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I think A&A helped us out with those. But I think we got all the stuff from this pretty much from A&A, except for the bearings, right?
Yeah, we got the bearings and a few other things from Auto Atlanta. But yeah, the heads are from A&A. Jugs and pistons are from A&A. And
You actually got some Coleman Schmidt bearings that were steel back.
yeah.
So I don't know how he did that. If you guys are looking for those, he's got the source on them there, Auto Atlanta.
Auto Atlanta had them.
No aluminum. Really nice.
They're Porsche specialists, those guys, so maybe they went.
And the Type 1 bearing will fit in these rods and work, but there is a different part number, and they're slightly wider. So I would recommend getting the correct bearing. Yes.
Cool. See you on the next one.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for watching.